So, one of the things that I wanted to focus on today is the power of faith and belief. I'm not talking about science, even though science is extremely important. And I believe that science is almost 50% of it, and the other 50% is spirit, I believe. I'm not asking you to agree with me or disagree with me. I'm just telling you what my belief is. So let's talk about faith. A lot of people wrestle with faith and belief. Is there a God or isn't there a God? Or what's really controlling our universe? Now, for me, growing up, Christian, Catholic, my parents being Christian and Catholic, almost a little bit of the same thing. They always taught us the power of faith and the power of belief. I believe that religion is relying on something, the word religion to rely on. That's what it means to me. And I believe that there's something in the earth that is greater than me. And that thing that I believe that is greater than me is God. And no matter what denomination or religion that you're in, I believe that there's a higher power that controls those outcomes if we believe. So I actually believe that there is a God in heaven looking down at us on earth that has created all of these amazing things that we have, starting with the earth that we're living on, with the sun that looks down at me, the moon that comes up in the evening, my mother and father, all of my friends, and all of the beautiful things around me, including looking deep within myself and saying the creation of me as a human being. And the other day I was struggling with a couple of things that I was thinking about. How does one prepare themselves for a journey or a mission or something that you're going through, or you're just empty and in life you have lost the point of believing that there is a next day and believing that there's going to be a better outcome. So how do we get there? I say that we get there with one powerful word called faith. How does one find the power of faith? Do you find it at a bookstore and pull it off the shelf? Do you buy it somewhere on the internet? Is it something that is sent to you by Amazon? Where do you get faith? Now, I believe that there is no scholar or no book or no human being or no curriculum in the world that could teach you faith. I think it's something that comes from within. You have to find faith in things that you believe in. There's something deep within me, which is my spirit, that gives me the ability to believe in tomorrow. And that is the big part of faith, believing that there is tomorrow, believing that there's a solution. I believe a big part of faith is trust. You have to have trust in something, someone. You have to have trust that this will pass. A part of the battle is not giving in. A part of the battle is being resilient. A part of the battle within faith is not quitting or letting it dominate you, whatever you're dealing with. If you give up when you're having a challenge, if you give up when you're having adversity, if you give up when you're dealing with a problem, then there's never going to be a solution because you gave up. Faith is a way to overcome that darkness. Faith is the ability to let you know that you are in control and you are in charge in all situations. Faith is understanding that it's going to be okay. The other day, I was having an issue and a problem that I was dealing with, and I said to myself, how can I find the faith to deal with this? My grandmother of 90 years was passing away, someone that was the flower of our family and someone that we loved dearly. And she had just had a major stroke. I kind of lost it and felt like the entire world was ending. I wanted more time with my grandmother. I was calling my parents every day and the doctors every day and the professionals every day, asking, how is my grandmother doing? And I can remember at that time that I was in a place of desperation that I forgot about faith, and I was dealing with self-infliction of guilt and figuring out what could I have done better for my grandmother? Was I there enough? And what can I do as a human being to bring her back and get her back into a healthy state? I felt like everything that I believed in, everything that I had practiced for in my own belief in faith, all the walls were falling around me at that very second. And I just started thinking the outcome was going to be the worst. And I started putting that energy out there that the outcome was going to be the worst. Well, day 1 came, she wasn't better. Day 2 came, she wasn't better. Day 10 came, my grandmother finally passed. And I could remember that I was so broken, and I was so broken inside that I had nothing left. I almost felt like the entire world just crashed on me. I felt like my very existence no longer had purpose, and I felt that my mission was over because the woman that I loved so much, that I looked up to, was no longer with us. And I can remember locking myself in the house and not wanting to come out, not wanting to do anything, not wanting to even get up to wash my face. I was in a place where I was lost, broken, and devastated because someone I lost that I loved so much was no longer with me, and I would no longer see her again in the physical space. But I did remember something, that I had to pull myself back together, and I had to find the power of faith that the outcome would be what God wanted or the physical energy of the earth wanted. The outcome would be just that. But how did I find faith? It all starts for me with God. I believe God is within us. I believe that we have the power as human beings to overcome any challenge at any time. I believe that we have miracles and power inside of us that we have not even tapped into. I believe in situations of desperation, of sadness, of defeat, we could always be victorious at the end. And that's something that is instilled inside of me. So how was I victorious in the passing of my grandmother? Again, it took faith. And what did I do? I went back into the earth, into my friends and the people that I love. I went back into loving what I do. I went back into being creative again. And I went back into believing that the outcome of my grandmother was the outcome that the energy of the world wanted and that God wanted. So I dug into myself and pulled out the faith tool. The faith tool, for those of you watching, is something that is that very breath that's deep inside of you. It's your mindset, your imagination, your conscience, your physical being, and understanding that you're not the victim. So if any of you are having challenges like I did this year of loss, we must practice faith. Practice the power within us. You could lose faith, but in 2 seconds you could find it again. You could question faith, but in 2 seconds have that answer. So remember, if you're watching, the faith is within you, and the faith is all around you. But the best faith is within you that you have to dig in deep and pull it out. I'm Juan G. Follow faith.